Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back to another What Else Is Going On podcast episode. I told y'all I was getting back on track. Okay, so listen, if you are watching on YouTube, you see this beautiful face and you know exactly who is back. But if you are listening, I have my friend, my boo, smart, funny, talented, amazing writer, has so much going on with what he is doing. He's going to tell us all about it. And he is also here to straight up talk the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which deserves an Emmy just for last night's episode alone. I don't care. I want the rest of the season to be good, but even if this first episode is just that, it is worth it. Y'all, please welcome my boo, Carlos J. Harris.
I just say I'm so happy to be back on this particular episode because we've had a journey with
Yes.
Salt Lake City from when I first started guesting on your show. And we spoke last night, and Salt Lake exceeded my expectations. I'm like, wait a minute. Our favorite, I always call it like a mockumentary housewife show. Like a mockumentary slash dinner theater slash
Yes.
musical slash SNL skit. They delivered, and I was so pleased.
Carlos, tell the people how we text almost every day, but I was so excited for you to come on Salt Lake City. I had to pick up the phone and ring your phone and call you and say, Bill.
I know when you text me that, I was like, I knew you forgot. I knew it was good. A and B. I said, oh, it's so good. She forgot it hasn't. I was texting you, my buddy Chris, who's the content creator. Like everyone was excited because it was delivering, and our girl,
Come on.
Mary Cosby, was the MVP of
Not
that.
only in her one-liners, but in her looks. I said, Mary has stepped up those confessionals. Mary looked good in that red dress.
Face
Face.
for her.
Yes.
The
She
hair
looks
got some
healthy.
guys, the hair got some sheen and bounce and life. I said, okay.
Come on. And she's engaging. And, jumping really quick to I watched some of Watch What Happens Live, and even Lisa was singing Mary's. In the beginning, I don't know if she went left later on in the episode, but she said that Mary is engaging this season. She's funny. So, because they did a poll of Angie K and Mary's friendship last, and they said no. And then that's when Miss Molly Sims said, "Oh, Mary scares me," and I was like, "Okay, and I got to be done after this because you're bringing nothing." Not just because she said that, but she really had no reason. But Lisa believed it and said that Mary's been funny and engaging. And I was like, okay, for Lisa to say that now, like present day.
Yes, for sure.
So I'm so excited. So like I said, I called Carlos. I didn't text him to come on. I picked up the phone and said, I had to call you to ask you to come on. And then I texted him, like he said, I forgot for a quick minute last night that he was on a different coast. I said, I'm not texting you no more. And I was telling him before we started, it was so hard for me not to continue to text him throughout the episode. And then I wanted to text you your time, and I was like, no, I'm waiting.
It was to me, because I think when I first started to guest on your show, I think the season had wrapped and Mary didn't show up. I think it was right before the Monica season, right before season 4. Season 3 had wrapped and she didn't, she skipped the reunion. And everyone was like, oh, she's fired. She's never coming back. I'm like, would you, like, all that hostility, racism she dealt with, like, where, that's my only gripe I had with SLC. I'm like, y'all are not going to act like, she's been dealing with microaggressions and racism the entire time up until, who remained nameless, threw a glass. It was a glass.
Come on, yes.
At her. No one did nothing. And you expect her to come back, let it watch on air then to relive it again at the reunion.
Right.
No. And then when the show came back and I said, okay, she still needed. Like, yes. Mary That you always need a member of the cast who's unpredictable. That's how it works.
And who's
And
not necessarily performing for the cameras, who's being themselves, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, let's talk about it. The people that don't like Mary, I wonder how many of them loved Ramona.
yeah, yeah. And my whole thing is this. I don't I don't have it's very few and far between when it comes to housewives. I have like an emotional connection to
Yeah.
anyone. I don't emotionally connect to anyone on SLC. I think they work great together because they
Yes.
all bring something. Like I feel indifferent about them all. Honestly, I'm
Yes.
like Lisa, I get it. Sometimes I can't tell if Lisa is acting
Come on.
or this is really her. It's like I can't tell, and I think with the whole gripe between her and Whitney, I think underlying because a lot of the beef is about the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think Whitney is trying to decipher if Lisa is being genuine or is she just
Yes.
having something. Is she just picking at something?
Because I need to know how to deal with you on this show. Am I dealing with show Lisa? Or because
Yeah,
their friendship was born out of a common enemy. Their friendship wasn't born out of true friendship. It was born out of a common enemy. So I don't so now once we've all come together as a group after last season with Reality Von Teese, now I need to find out exactly who you are because their
yeah,
common enemy was Meredith and a little bit of Heather because Meredith and Heather had got close last season. So now that dust has settled a little bit for the most part, oh, now I'm seeing who you are. I don't give Whitney, I don't give Whitney an inch. I have not historically been a fan of hers. I will
Mhm.
say last night, and we can either I took notes to either in order or we can jump around, but I last night I was with her with some things, and I was also with Lisa. So I don't know. Do you want to start at the beginning of the episode and then get into the dinner party, or how do you want to?
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do
okay.
that. As you said, they had central casting.
Come on.
They had some black faces.
And
That's
had
all.
lines on camera. Lisa was
Yes,
touching them.
yes. When I tell you the older black lady, and I'll say older because they're all were probably the same age. The black woman who I guess it was right before. Oh, when Bronwyn walked
And she
up.
said, "Look, look." I knew you were talking about her. They said, "That's your line. That's your line."
That's I don't know why when Heather walked up and Mary was like, "Is that Heather?"
Yeah. Wait.
That hysterical to me. I don't know
You're
why.
thin, and then had to say it again. You're thin.
Because she can't think of anything else because she barely cares for her. So she's
Yes.
like,
She's like, and then when Heather in the confessional said, I found the key, basically, she found the key to Mary's heart, like losing 25 pounds. And now Mary loves me. Now I wouldn't take it that far.
yes. But that scene, the walk-ups, it every person that walked up, it was beats played throughout.
Yes.
And I loved that. I was like,
Me
oh, we're
too.
getting it from the jump.
And these friends, this is the first time that I've seen a Housewives show where the friends, well, let me take that back. I don't know if it's the first time I've seen, but I can't remember a time where I've been watching a Housewives premiere and
Mhm.
more than one friend is central to the story. Because is Brittany a housewife or is she a friend?
I think she's a friend.
That's
She's
what
a
I thought. She's a friend.
it's given season 5 is given budget.
Okay. Okay.
Landed,
Yes.
the queens, all that jazz. So they're
Okay.
like, okay, bring it because they needed to build out that cast.
Yes. Yes, they did. Especially if they were going to have a season without Monica. And it's only one episode in, but I have to say, even with the flashbacks, there's enough friction in the group
Yeah,
without, because somebody made a good point on Twitter. I think it was Jared Alexander who said, Meredith is right. Nothing was addressed
it wasn't.
between the ladies because it was about Reality Von Teese.
Hmm. It was.
So do
It,
you, oh,
go ahead.
I just want to ask you, do you remember, because you're a Housewives connoisseur, do you remember a time watching a premiere episode where so many friends were so heavily involved in the stories, getting
No,
their own walk ups with the person they came with?
no, no.
Okay.
And no. And I think that was a smart move to build out and add multiple friends because the women, the clique, the circle, they're not friends. So it would have been very awkward for them to each walk up by themselves and they have no one to bounce off. Because
Yes.
well, granted, we had like little flashback scenes, but it
Right.
worked better. It worked better because that's real life. Like you come to a party, you bring your friend, and you giving you giving them the lowdown as you're
Yeah.
walking the door,
Yes.
and you put on that face like, hey, girl, that's the one, right? That's the one.
Yes.
And each person that came up, it gave that. If we would have just got that party alone, I'd have been happy. I'm like, damn, this is good.
And we kind of sort of did. All we got at other places were flashbacks. We
Yeah.
stayed in, look, another barn scene.
Yes.
If somebody start dancing and singing good night next week.
Oh, Lord. I'm sweet. I'm sweet. No shade. Shout out to Candace and her bundle of joy.
Yes.
I'm anointing her a legend because she is always evoked in conversations. She's a legend. She's a
Yes.
house legend. No, I'm giving her flowers
I
because
agree.
her name still is said, and she's like, "Well, I'm here with the baby and my husband." And
Yes. Her name still resonates through the ethers of the housewives abyss. Shout out to Candace. I'll be telling her, Candace, call me so we can chat. We ain't even got to talk housewives, girl. Call me. But yeah, so I was so we get the walk up, right? What's funny to me, well, even before that, the intro when they're setting up for their
oh,
confessionals, I said, come
man,
on, cinematography.
they was giving you we come in for an Emmy, a
And we got
SAG.
something to prove to our former castmate.
And I didn't mind. It was smart because when we closed out season 4, Heather was the voice. She was the Nicole Kidman rounding the girls up on the beach. And I just still that theme will go down in pop culture, not even housewife history, pop culture history.
Agree.
It made sense for her to open up and she sits down and then it goes from home to home to home. I guess Mary was like, child, I'm sleep. Yeah, I did my job.
Right, because Mary wasn't, and I wonder if it's because she wasn't on the trip.
Wait, I thought she did go on a trip.
I don't wait. Did she go on the trip with? Why wasn't
Oh,
she
no,
at the
no,
dinner?
not that trip. I'm referring to the opening last night when she sat down and then went from each
House
other.
to house.
Yeah,
But
they
do
didn't
you
do
think they didn't do it because it was sort of alluding back to last season because Heather was kind of talking about last season.
You're right.
And so maybe they didn't do Mary because she wasn't there. I'm
Okay,
thinking.
I can see that. I can see that. Or Mary, they would ask Mary. Mary, like, what am I supposed to do? Like,
But right.
Mary,
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. What are you asking me for? That doesn't make sense.
I could see that too. And speaking of Mary, shout out to Mary because clearly production and them like her too and
Oh yeah, for
recognizes
sure.
her value in the show.
For sure.
Because there was a time when I thought Salt Lake City was going to be canceled or at least put on pause.
Yeah, I think Monica saved season 4.
Yes,
Monica
definitely.
saved season 4. She
And then
did.
them
And
ladies said, "Oh, we got to come to work."
that they knew they had something to prove. And even Bronwyn,
Yeah,
even once the commercial, I was like, oh, here we go with
me,
this like private fashions. But when she explained, like when long form introduction and kind of showed some pictures and even her conversation, she's like, oh, I was in Paris with the family, blah, blah, blah. And she won me over with her scene with Mary and Brittany.
oh,
When I tell you that was the funniest, why did I say the funniest scene? Because she's smart because she knows the way to marry hard through fashion and
yes,
through compliments. It's like, I like your coat. I have one. Very,
yes,
very needy based.
yes,
I
yes.
have you.
She read Mary very well.
Yes, and the fact when Brittany sat down, that
Child.
costume.
they both were like, "Oh no, you don't do that." And like,
I have it's given. I should. I have one of three. And I said, work.
come
It's
on,
giving one of three. It's giving
three,
coins. It's
and
giving.
one is in a museum.
It's giving. It's giving. You can walk best dressed at a ball. It's
Yeah,
giving
yeah,
one of three. I
yeah.
said she ate that. When she said that, I said, I'm sold.
And she said, "You don't have to like it, but a costume?
She was like, a
No,
costume. She gave you all the a costume.
costume."
And
And
even
when
when oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna no, you go ahead, go ahead.
And then when Brittany turned to Mary,
Child.
order, she said, well, because Mary said, I have so much clothes, I have a whole office just clothes. And Brittany's like, honey, that's an archive. It's given fashion speaks fashion. She's like,
Yes.
oh, and Brittany said, oh, I hoard stuff too. Like, hoard.
She
She's
said,
like,
I didn't say
I'm just saying, because I grew up, I grew up poor. Mary said, I didn't grow up poor. I didn't say that. When I tell you that was the funniest thing, because like why would you assume she grew up poor?
and when she said I didn't have enough, like there wasn't enough, I didn't get poor because we know that Mary's grandmom had money. Hence why Mary married her step grandfather to keep the money in the family. But I think she just meant with 5 kids, they weren't poor, but sometimes you just got 5 kids, and even though you have money, you may have had more than enough as far as food and houses and this, but she may not have had the abundance
Yeah,
of clothing.
yeah.
So when she said that, when Mary said in that confessional, this is my favorite line of the night. Who is this?
No, Brittany's reaction, she was like, ooh.
Yes, like, okay, wait a minute. Why did Brooke Ashley, shout out to Brooke Ashley, tweeted about Brittany? She said the fur was giving thin. I
Yes.
screamed.
I said Mary broke that fur down. She said like a German Shepherd. She said, I
Yeah,
know she's not talking with this German Shepherd on her back.
she's the one with the costume. I said, my God, on today.
You gotta watch
That was such a good, authentic scene. And it
guys.
was almost like Bronwyn was watching too. Like she was a
Yeah.
part of it, but she was also us watching Mary, like, this is funny.
It's her reaction. You gotta watch it again and get into Robin's reaction when when Mary like, I didn't say I was poor. Robin was like,
The,
ugh. She's like, we need to get her a thesaurus.
yeah, and then in her dictionary, when she was like, did she say something like fashion may not have been her strong suit and neither is words or something like that?
Yes.
I
She
have to
was
jump ahead a minute because when she mentioned putting bread in her purse, and normally, and a housewife that was trying to produce themselves, when Bronwyn said, "Oh, well, that's okay," the
Mhm.
other housewife would have been quiet, and Mary said, "No, it's not okay." And then when Brittany said you didn't grow up poor, fast forward when Mary didn't want to sit next to Brittany and said she may she may try to put bread in my purse. It had to be recent because when you're little, you don't have a purse. I literally, I'm not lying to you. I meant to ask Corey if he heard me because I watched it downstairs in our back room. I screamed. I literally screamed out loud.
Because she was
I,
dead serious. She was dead
she
serious.
was like, and that just shows you how her brain, like she's very literal, like you
Yes.
said. So going back to why she may not have been a part of the opening different housing scenes, because she probably told the producers that doesn't make sense because in her mind, 1+1 is 2. That doesn't make sense. So how are you putting bread in a purse when you were a kid? And especially if she grew up poor, your mama definitely had money for no purse for you.
Yes. She
Oh,
was
that
very.
was good.
And I think to me, this was the icing on the cake that Mary was MVP because Mary Cosby is the reason why SLC exists. People forget that.
That's right.
He cast it first.
That's right.
And before, is it Shed Media took over?
Yeah,
And then,
wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, so, she was casted. And then with the editing, they're like, wait, who is this cookie lady that sits in her closet? And that's how she, came to be. But I think this iteration of Mary Cosby is fully realized. She's relaxed. I think she has a little bit more genuine connection. I love her and Angie.
Me too. I found myself, I would say one of the reasons that, because Meredith, like since watching the first season, The first person that I honestly didn't care for was Heather Gay, and then Whitney and Lisa. Those three, I was well, Jen. So basically, I didn't care for half the cast, I guess. So, but I started liking Meredith and or really connecting with Meredith when she was the only one that stood by Mary. When Mary vocalized, she knew why Jenny didn't like her, just like other Black folks watching. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't say her name. I have to tell Corey, you're gonna have to bleep it. But she knew why that woman, that former castmate, didn't like her. And when she explained it, Meredith was basically like, you don't need to explain. You say you feel uncomfortable. I got you. And that to me was when I was like, oh, a lot of these housewives talk a good talk. And that was a little bit after Black Lives Matter and, all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, Meredith was really trying to be there for Mary. And so I also felt like Mary respected Meredith. Meredith could say stuff to Mary. But with Angie, it's almost a lightness, like for all of her being a preacher, I think Mary's confidence, when we would see her in the pulpit in different scenes with a mic or when she's giving advice to the ladies, she comes across very confident. But outside of that, she seems like the little girl, the sheltered little girl that she may have been raised as. And I think, like you said, she's relaxed. She's finding her voice. You got to remember, she married her step grandfather, who was an older man. So she was told what to do coming up. Her grandmom, then now she's married to this man. She's revered at church. And now she's outside of all of that. And she's figuring out who she is as a woman, what she likes, what she doesn't like. Oh, I like this housewives thing. Because if she didn't like it, she wouldn't. Because we know Mary, she ain't going to do what she don't want to do like that. So I feel like Angie brings out a lightness to Mary that makes me happy to see them together. And I think I thought Meredith was genuine with her connection with Mary, but there's just something different with Angie and Mary.
Yeah, I think so too. And I can just, I was imagining like their text exchange. And like
I want to be on the thread.
he texted Mary, like, Mary, what you doing?
Yeah.
And Mary probably be annoyed, like, I think Mary probably had a wall up for Angie for a while, even behind the scenes, and like, you know what? I think she likes me. She really wants to get to know. I think that's it. Mary understands that Angie wants to get to know her for her.
Yes.
So because Angie doesn't have strong alliances or friendships on the show, and I think she sees the humor and she sees the value in Mary as a person.
Yes. That because remember even last season when she was like, Mary, come over here. I wanted Mary to get up because I felt like Angie was trying to be inclusive. Saw Mary by herself. And I think Mary thinking back, all it took, because what seems is small, but that lipstick on the teeth, that's your
Yeah,
homegirl telling you, girl.
yeah, yeah. It's like
And
I like
so,
Angie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Even everybody was shocked. Andy was like, oh, you like Angie?
Everyone, that's the thing. Mary harkens back, her archetype harkens back to the old school pre-PC era of Housewives and reality TV. It's that
Yes.
predictability. You do not know what's going to come out of her mouth. You can't predict it.
Yeah. She's
You're
not
not,
trying to produce herself.
she's not. Because she has the coins.
Yes. Yeah.
The show can leave tomorrow, and she's like, well, her lifestyle doesn't change, so she's
Right.
not pushing for like she her ego was fed through church,
Yes.
finances, so she's not holding on or trying to be like Miss Popular or through the fans. It's like
Mm-hmm.
she already. I think when you have things outside of the show already that fulfill you in whatever capacity,
Yeah.
really be yourself. You're not trying to be Andy's favorite or the fan favorite, or the voice, the best new prototype, the voice of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Heather Gay, sadly.
Come on.
But I think they're all performing to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Angie in work last night with that scroll and them all like each shot like that scroll, that paper.
Like even Lisa was funny to me. She was like, did she ever score? Why did she ever get
Then the confessional with Mary, who broke down the process of the scroll. I said,
when she said she's a hard worker, she has a lot of time, probably too much time. I was like, Mary is giving good funny shade in her confessional. It's not me.
In jest, I was like, I could tell that's still her homegirl because
Yeah.
it was funny. It was so goddamn
Yeah.
good.
And
Like,
what I like about Angie is how she tried to bring Mary in. I think to
yes,
me, that's a trait of Angie. Like, even when they all got to the table yesterday, when they walked in and she was like, Mary got these glasses because I have this glasses. Like, I'm gonna bring you in you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's
yes,
probably
yes,
how she is in real life. I'm gonna bring you in,
yes.
like and I really appreciated that when she interrupted. Well, since we're there, when
Mhm.
she interrupted Whitney and Meredith talking. Okay, that's not, can I talk now? It was like Whitney still trying to talk. She was like, Meredith, I'm just processing.
And at first, when she did that walk up, I was like, ugh. But
Me,
then the scroll, it saved it, and she saved herself at the dinner scene.
who
Because
didn't she though?
at the end of the day, if you want to cut someone on Housewives, you bring up whether or not they own their home. That's the
Who?
first thing. That's the first thing.
I don't want to
'Cause
rent her talking to me.
I was in the same thing. I'm like, are you rich? You're not talking to
Right.
me. You're not
Because
talking.
it's like, and people may take that as like an elitist attitude. It's really not though. I'm trying to get at you. And so I'm gonna say what I can to get at you.
It's like you don't even go here. You rent here.
You don't live here. You live in New York.
She stayed in New York, and I don't those type. Okay, we're watching Housewives.
Yes.
This is base level log line
Come
selling
on.
escapism. So we're gonna talk about the homes and the fashion, like that's and who you know. It's like we're not going to say like, oh, well, that's elated. Well, why are you watching? Why are you watching Housewives?
Because that's what a Housewives was built on, being behind gates, which is real quick why I don't get why people get upset at Heather's wealth on OC. This is what I'm watching for.
I'm gonna tell you, I love me some Heather the Bro.
Me too.
It's for escapism, and I love the last episode with her kids. Like
Me too.
her really love and support their kids. So it's not just about just her home. It's not empty. She's not empty.
Yes, she really her kids ground her.
Yes, she's
Her
not
kids really ground her. So
empty.
you're gonna have to come back and dissect the whole an OC episode with me.
Of course.
Well, I mean, it's an open by this point. Carlos is the co-host. What are y'all talking about? Like, so
Reunion time, so we can really, because I want to see what Tamara, how she, if she tries to pivot or she goes
yeah,
theme. Yeah.
full steam ahead, full steam and demon. Uh-huh. Yeah. But okay, so there was one part I wanted to ask you. But oh, okay. What did you think about? Okay, so we do the walk-ups, we get the different flashbacks of the ladies meeting up.
Um,
I just don't know why. There is just as much as I didn't necessarily care for Heather her first season, it's the Lisa and the Whitney that just are like sand in my bathing suit bottom, where you just, oh, you're annoying. But I can also see I've grown with them, meaning I can see their value, with the cast, right? But what did you think of their argument? Because first off, I have to give Lisa, I don't know if this was acting or if this was, she just says whatever comes across her brain as well, just differently than Mary. When she gathered everybody around and said, with Jack on his mission and with John working, her girlfriends check on her. And I love you guys so much. I don't love podcasts. Pause. Me and you have a lot to address, some things to address, but I love you. Like
funny.
that
Yeah.
moment to me, it was like it was such a housewife moment because in real life, you probably wouldn't do it. I felt what Whitney was saying on a certain point and what Lisa was saying. I felt Lisa when she was like, you can't then weaponize your trauma or use your trauma to prove that you're better than us. Like every time you get upset, you say, I'm traumatizing you, but I'm not talking about your trauma. I'm reacting to something that you did. I also saw Whitney's point. Stop calling me a liar. I didn't say you did X, Y, and Z. I said in the podcast, Lisa's been the villain. That is my experience of you. So I'm not lying about my feel. And I like how she used the ice cream analogy or Diet Coke analogy. That was perfect. So I
Yeah.
saw Whitney's side for that because when Whitney was saying, tell me what I said that was a lie, Lisa couldn't tell her because in Lisa's mind, you're lying because I'm not a villain. What have I done to you?
And also too, Lisa doesn't like Whitney. So if you don't, if you
Wait,
don't like her,
I was not
whatever
expecting that.
doesn't like her. So whatever Whitney said, if it's remotely bad, it was going to be an issue. It just was.
That's true.
So they were to me, I started to like zone out because like they're just going back and forth, back and forth. But when Whitney said, I'm not a liar, and the camera cut to Heather, everyone was like, wait. And everything she ever lied about in all the 5 seasons now came flooding back. That was so funny because they were tag teaming, like, oh no, but you said
and
the ticket.
and I didn't even mind it because I was like, that's what you get because of the havoc that you caught. That's what you get because you did everything they said.
And I think, honestly, I think that's the beauty of reality TV. Especially because we always say like they're on camera, they forget that we're watching. I think the comfortability after a while, you do forget that, because you get used to your peripheral views of somebody around you all the time. So you forget. And I also think too, this is a great platform for women who are as you know, people come on to get divorced or to
Yes,
separate. I think Whitney is evolving a lot.
me
And
too.
who she is as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think things in the past, she got caught up with, telling untruths and fibbing and expanding on taking something small and really working a storyline because she thought it would work out in her favor or it was light and funny, but you can't be light and funny when it's someone's personal life.
Yes, and she wants to be a housewife. Remember on Ultimate Girls Trip, her and Heather were kind of getting into it in front of the other ladies. I think they were at a breakfast, and Heather mentioned her saying something, and she said, "We're filming a show, honey." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Whitney is catering to the camera." But there was
Yeah.
something that you said that made me, oh my God, I was going to go back. It was about Whitney and
Evolving.
Lisa. It'll come back. It'll evolving, and there was some. It'll come back to me. But yeah, I really wasn't upset with them tag teaming her.
Okay, speaking of performing for camera, Whitney and Meredith scene, which was funny
Oh,
about
that
the
was funny.
I was like, sometimes I think Meredith toes the line.
Yes,
I call her very Grey Gardens because she's very.
yes.
What are you doing? You're ruining my. What do you mean, my marriage? Like it's that long drawn out
You're coming after my business.
Boulevard, Norma Desmond. Like everything when she's talking, it feels like dialogue.
Yes. Even if she would say, go get me a slice of bread, it's like, I see the
And
movie. Okay.
I
Like,
feel that bombs. Like you didn't tell me. I did. You didn't. Like it's the head
like,
shake.
yes.
It's,
The when she said, when Whitney said, so when Angie interrupted him, so do you not want to be my friend? I'm processing.
outside of Mary, Meredith is the second. Like unintentionally funny.
At that dinner, the way she was chiming in, I was living. I was screaming. I was like, Meredith is active. She's engaged. When she said she wasn't engaging with Angie, I'm not engaging. I don't want to rent her talking to me.
That's how you get them. That's exactly.
Especially one who walks like they're Meredith has never said she's above, but she's always had this air about her. And so, like you said, that's how you get. And Angie's home is gorgeous.
It is. Angie could have gave her one of the needy lines. You don't have a home, honey?
You don't have a
Oh,
home?
we gotta find you a
We
home.
gotta oh, not a white refrigerator in the rental, honey.
Home.
Oh yeah, that the bath bomb scene. Okay. I started to go on Whitney's site, but then I was like, well, there's no, even if the bath bombs are sitting there, we don't know how long they've been. Because I was like, well, is she telling the truth? Would she be straight up lying on camera? Like, I have had bath bombs, and I got what she was saying. Yes, skincare and jewelry. I think the bath bombs could have went along with the skincare, Whitney, but she said because it's almost housewives do this thing where they can say something which is going to lead the viewer to think one thing without saying the full thing. So she goes, I had bath bombs. You didn't buy them from me. And Meredith is like, because I didn't know you had them. And she's like, but I had them. So you saying I had them, you just didn't buy them for me is implying that she knew your line. But then when she says, I didn't know you had them, then you have to admit, oh, well, you didn't know I had them. Like, I was like, I see what Whitney does a lot of times. She likes to lead.
Point. I didn't catch that 'cause I was confused. I was like, wait, so did Meredith know? Because it made Meredith seem like she knew, but she was trying to just make up something, or she forgot. That's a
Yeah.
great
It's
point.
like, girl, she didn't know because you went right back to after she said, but I didn't know you had them. Instead of you saying, Meredith, I had bath bombs. I didn't present them in the lineup when you bought the skincare to go along with your jewelry line because I didn't think bath bombs and the skincare, but I've had them. With Whitney, we had to take the long way there. Like you could have just said that. And so Meredith is kind of like, I didn't know you had them. Um, I guess if she had them, then no, she couldn't have stolen it from her. But maybe it gave her an idea to market them more. Oh, I
It's all
have these, but you know what? And they all do that. Candles, Wendy, Karen, they all do that.
right. I'm so over products.
Yeah, me too. Like, give me like,
Storyline. Can I
yes,
get
give me, yeah. Sell yourself to us. I don't care about your products, not one bit. When
yeah.
they, what did you think about the friends' reactions? Because they were showing the black girls quite a bit, their reactions to
Sure.
the
And they
argument.
were talking to the other one too.
Mhm.
They know them.
Yeah, they must really know them. Yeah.
They must really know them. When Lisa said, "I'm inviting some women from my neighborhood," she probably know
I
them.
said they live in the neighborhood. I want to know. Me and
Mhm.
Kendrick were talking about this. Shout out to Kendrick. I cannot podcast. Uh he said, I wonder if all the black people in Salt Lake City know each other. Cause they ain't but a
Yeah.
blink, like less than 1% or something, like 1% or 3% or something like that. So like the ones that live in that area, do they know each other?
So I think I mean, I'm just saying I think so because when you think about demographic, then you think about um, class.
Yeah,
We live in that
that's
area,
true.
probably know each other. So
That's
yeah,
true.
they were just chatting it up.
Cause
They were just
I want to reach out to them and be like, how y'all know Lisa and is y'all really friends?
yeah.
Or
Well,
did
they
somebody from Central call you? But I feel like they probably are really. Lisa was touching that. Like, I'll give her that. She was like touching them and hugging on them. And the lady in the yellow jacket, she was holding her, which is crazy that, like, as a black woman, I took notice of that because I don't see y'all interact with us.
yeah, because it's visually it's new, so your eye will always gravitate to newness and new
Yeah.
people. If you just because again, this was the first episode where, granted, yes, they had a party last year, but it
Oh,
was still
yeah.
empty. But something about this party where they were chatting.
Yes. That it's the background noise. It wasn't like they were trying to be seen on camera or trying not to be seen. It seemed
Yeah.
like they were at an actual party and not a setup party. Like this was
Yes,
an actual party.
yes, yes,
Bezos. Ma'am,
yes.
are you okay. I said she calling
That was it's called kisses. But yeah, it was 10 out of 10. I'm quite sure my buddy Chris texted me before this our meeting, and he said, "What do you think the ratings are? Like 500K?" I'm thinking like 6 because they were coming off such a great season finale. So I'm
Yes.
thinking 100K, 650 because of just the
Oh,
hype. But yeah, I think the excitement was there, and I think the fact that they delivered
it's
and
great.
so and Bravo was on it like after the episode. I went on IG and Bravo had like the funniest clips and like little blurbs what each woman said. Everyone was very pleased, and I think coming off Yes, granted, the OC is airing. OC is that standard, very vanilla.
Yes.
Granted, yes, we had, Cancergate and stuff, and things pop off here and there, but it's very comfortable. You know what the girls give.
Yes.
It's not too many antics. It's
Yeah.
very, very, very low stakes. It's a low stakes show. It's very
That
comfortable, cozy. Put on my, pajamas, watch,
that's true.
Jersey, super dark.
That's all right. That's it.
Let me tell you something. I tried. I even put it on my phone because I have the Peacock app. Put it on my
Okay.
phone as I'm working. I couldn't even watch the reunion. I was like, I don't even care. Like, I do not care. And I put on my producer cap and with my foresight. I said, if they don't get Lisa Milan on Miami, because she
Oh,
there, get her come on as a friend and fool la la with the girls because she has the coin. She
and
has beautiful, has the family. She
and
has the
she's
coin.
from Miami. They got a house in Miami.
And now that Dr. Nicole is taking a pause, a much needed pause for their family,
Yeah.
Alexia has coins. Alexa has Alexia? Yeah,
Yeah.
Alexia has
Yeah.
she has mob money, which is she always gonna be in a new rental, a new like she's
Come
always
on.
gonna be. So no one has no one gives you that opulence. I'm pulling up the boat.
That's what it is. Opulence.
Husband flying me to the party. Dr. Nicole is the to me the perfect
Yes, I agree.
smart, got a career, husband, kids, coin. It's
Yeah.
like escapism.
Fashions, like she's gorgeous. Like,
Like when you smart and you pretty, oh, it's a
yeah.
wrap.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, sign me up. I'm watching all day.
Yeah.
Watching
Like
all.
I loved seeing Dr. Nicole, which is why the ladies Alexia and Marisol couldn't take her.
Yeah, they could. It was a classic. They couldn't take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They couldn't take it. And the thing what I love about Nicole, and I love in women for in general, is their union partnership, whether they're with a man or woman, they can leave and their lifestyle don't change. It doesn't.
Yes.
Well, she's an anesthesiologist. They make a lot of goddamn money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's not dependent on her husband for her financial survival, and I love that. I
And
love that.
even if she's the type that even if she downsized to a different type of house, it would still be fabulous because she still makes money. But we wouldn't smell the desperation on her, which then would cause her to come on the show and create antics to keep a job to make the money.
Of course, I'm happy they're back filming. Probably missed a lot of pivotal,
Yes.
offline
Is
stuff.
is Julia's twins black? She got
I
black kids.
someone said that. I thought they were like mixed race. Mixed race. I don't know.
I guess I just assumed because sometimes when celebrities get them, that's who they get. So I was like, does she got?
I don't even know. Like, granted, it's good. Do I like Juliet? No, not. Yeah, I don't really care about Juliet. I really don't. Juliet.
She was performing a lot last season.
Oh, she was. I
She was
don't.
tap dancing to keep that job because she likes being a housewife too.
They're another show that works great together. Some
But
of their
it,
songs I used to always skip. Like,
yeah,
okay. Like Marisol. Oh, Marisol she was on there a lot to be a friend last season.
yes,
Uh, I always skip Larsa scenes. Like
me too.
Larsa, like I don't like empty people. She's too empty. Like,
And
I
then when
can't.
she argues like she's making a point or like she's that rough and tough girl,
Yeah.
no, you are not
But
that girl.
I told you a while ago, something I was watching her one day on the show and something clicked. I said, oh, maybe she's emotionally stunted because she had kids. So she married young, then had kids back to back to back to back to back to back. So it's like she's still, stuck in that emotionally that she lacks the maturity of her age. I mean, granted, yes,
Right.
age and maturity does not equal all the
That's
time,
true.
but she just gives me this vapid.
Like
And
where
not,
she was in her life at that time is where she stayed mentally.
yeah, and just like there's nothing, there's no there with her.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, I get it. I get her function on the show as a on in the ensemble
Ensemble, yeah.
that's going, but like who's Lisa? Lisa's vapid, but she's harmless. It's
Yes, yeah.
I get it. She came from very humble. Now that was then she grew up
Very humble
poor.
black beginnings.
She grew up poor. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I get it. I get it.
Right.
You grew up humble in Canada. You found a man. I get it. I get it. I get it. But she's not too bright because clearly she wasn't stashing some coins away.
Listen,
So I can take Lisa over Larsa.
me too. To me, because Larsa be lying. That's what I can't stand. And like she spins stuff. And then to me, that whole, oh, you have, what did she say? Like to Gertie, like, oh, you have cancer, but she had something like, it was something like, are you really
Yeah.
about to sit in my face and act like,
And she
okay.
knows what she's doing. She
Yes. Yes.
Limbo, like that, like Portia Williams archetype. That I know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna just say anything and play it off. Like I
Yeah.
do.
Like when she accused Nicole of like sleeping with everybody in the hospital, then it's like, oh, you got a DM saying that Nicole was messing with one person. Like that kind of stuff to me. I wish that somebody would go head to head with her. You need a Candace.
And I was about to say now we can open up Google and Larsa Future, Larsa this person,
Come
Larsa.
on.
It's like we not about, and you can't, it's not about sex shaming or like
Exactly.
you're that word because you are seen with men. But it's like if you want to really go there, let's go
I'm
there.
going to hit you back in the area you hit me. It's almost like the Giselle thing when people say, I'm tired of the read, Giselle don't have a man. It's not about, for me, it's not about making the man the prize. It's about you attack the other women in that area. So I'm
Because
coming to let you know,
that's
yes,
her. That
yes,
you hit people where their value system lies. If it's in a
yes.
man, like, well, girl, like
And that's why they keep doing it, not because having a man is the prize or even having a woman is the prize. It's no, that's what you value. And that's where the area you attack other people. So I'm hitting you back in that same area. Like, how dare you? And with Larsa, the only time I've ever remotely not had Larsa's back, because that's going too far, but recently Marcus Jordan said he gave her back to the streets. Sir, I know.
yeah, for sure. I said something on Twitter about that. I'm like, no one's checking for you.
We didn't even know you, and you're Michael Jordan's son. We didn't even know you until Larsa brought you on.
And if you wasn't MJ's son, she wouldn't even, you guys wouldn't even be in the same vicinity. So
You
yeah.
would not be. Where was he at? Where he was the
Yeah.
Cocalina, as cousin Roddy said. It's like, so you would not be on the beach somewhere chilling like that. You wouldn't have got a podcast deal. None of that you would have had.
But I knew he was in it because I'm like, wait, he wants to be on camera this much, and
You know what? Right.
I said, oh, because it's always about fame. If you have money, you're like, okay, I have money, I have access, but I don't have a camera in my face.
Which so many of the housewives that have money, I heard somebody say it's okay to say you want to be famous, because now all of a sudden it's almost like the person that worked in the office and say you get promoted to manager, and you have people saying, I never wanted to be the manager, I can play the background. Cool, because we need followers too. And that's not a bad thing, but I can't stand when people make it a bad thing because people want to progress, whether it's in their career, go up the corporate ladder, be the office manager, be the vice president, or be on a TV show. It's okay to want those things. It's what you do to get them is where the issue can come in. And with the housewives, some of these antics, I want to go back to Salt Lake and ask you, what did you think about Lisa's performance at dinner when she stood up and Angie said, sit down?
It was given a sit down. Like it
Because I
was
was
just
like, all that yelling and stuff.
then she just got up and I was like, what is it? What you gonna do?
That's
What you gonna
that's where we're at. It's like, you up and now what?
And she sat back down.
Because on another franchise, you getting up, then the other person getting up, and then it's about to be
Yes.
some
So,
table shaking. So like when she threw that, I said, okay,
and Meredith's
that
like, that
Meredith
performative.
said, who threw the glass?
Performative.
Say that again.
Class.
Oh yeah, performative. Yes.
Performative.
I
Because
was
it
like,
makes no sense. Like I didn't even. We're so well versed in this game of housewife antics for 20, almost what, 20 years now.
yeah,
Like I didn't even blink when she did. I think, okay, she threw the glass. Like
because it didn't even go.
it didn't even go here. It did not
Like,
go. It was so. It was such. It was so stupid. And the fact that I forgot that happened. That yeah.
it's
It's like
other than her, I feeling like she was performing through the whole thing sometimes, and then sometimes I felt like she was legit. But that to me, right then, I was like, oh, she's out to prove that we have the stuff. Like, just come on here and be yourself. Like all that overhype. When she threw that, I was like, it didn't even. There
yeah.
wasn't even a reason to be mad enough to do that. Like normally there's an anger behind it. It's like, what? Like, and then
And
Heather just laughing. I was like,
hence why I said this feels like a mockumentary
yes,
of
yes,
because these women are fully lean. Like Lisa Barlow is leaned into her Lisa Barlow.
yes,
Like everything's exaggerated. Even the
yeah.
commercial with the SLC new
Selling
home,
SLC. Yes, yes.
like just all the it's just like
Even the
people.
Wendy's commercials, it's like everything is, she's a character of herself.
Character. She is a character of herself, and usually it takes about season 7, 8, But we're in the age of social media, so that trajectory is sped up a little bit more because you're like, oh, people like the antics, like my, baby gorgeous, so I want to fully lean into that, but it doesn't land when you're performing and you are in this character because the standing up didn't work, the glass didn't work. It
Yes,
does. It's not who you are.
it's not who you are. Yes. Well, speaking of social media, did you see the argument between the ladies on social, between Angie, Lisa, and who was, and Meredith?
I saw
Baby.
I glanced at it because I saw the old clip because Meredith had the old video of Jen and Angie. I looked at it and I was like, okay. I didn't really get into it because I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't get into it. Was it funny?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what part was funny.
Okay.
We know that Lisa's been in the news a lot recently. This lawsuit, that lawsuit, everywhere lawsuit one has been dropped. So it all stemmed from, I guess, Meredith did an interview with Page Six, and they were talking about the season, and she said she liked Angie better when Angie was Jen's backup. And so then she posted, yeah, she said, exactly. She said, yeah, I liked Angie better when she was Jen's backup dancer in social media videos. So she posted that video of her dancing. And she said, um, she posted that and said, the only scroll I read is the Torah because
Okay.
of the scroll. So hashtag, so she posted a video, post that as a caption. Angie, oh, so then Lisa Barlow comments, remember how you charged Jen for a party you offered to throw? I'm surprised you could get all of this out there without tripping over all that lip filler. Pay your employees. That $9 an hour just isn't cutting it. So
Mhm.
Angie, so Angie retweeted and said, true, I was real, in like quotes almost, friends with Jen until I learned she scammed the elderly out of money. Unlike you, who followed her all the way to prison for airtime. Mazel tov to baby gorgeous. Glad to see your spirits are up considering all of your recent Lego and repo troubles.
I
Wait
like
a
it.
minute. Gets better.
Angie is she's the center, the
She's the
center.
center snowflake. Oh,
Some,
baby, she
some,
mentions it because then she retweeted Lisa saying, remember how you charged Jen for a party? She retweeted it and said, My lips are as full as my life. Thanks to my doctor, who I pay with my own Amex card, not a Park City mystery man's. Unlike Lisa G's wagon, my lips can't be repoed. I'm not your bestie in prison, so I'm not interested in a gangbang. But it's cute you two had to team up. Night. Hashtag RHOSLC.
That's good. Now, ladies of Dubai, that's how you do it.
Angie ate her.
That's good.
I said Angie ate when she said, unlike.
That's how you break a bitch down. You give them a facts. If those are, you gotta. That's how you always. That's why I've always, I grew up. I'm like, I'm not like a reader. I can, because I'm hit you with facts, and you ain't gonna like it. So I'm like, that's good when you can. Your car was repo. Your car. Remember, you had teeth in the back. Your car was repo.
They're done. When get your teeth fixed, they're done. They're done.
Tell you when
you hit it like, and Lisa did not, from what I see, because to me, oh, you on here talking about me sleeping with a man in my car getting repoed? I don't see Lisa in the comments nowhere.
We talk about that.
And I don't see Angie making that. I just don't see her making that up.
No, that is what we again love about Housewives. It's the digs it's the frivolous stuff, the homes. Even, let me take you back to when Sheree was dating Tyrone in jail, and they were in San Francisco. I think the funniest thing ever when they were in San Francisco, and it was Candy, Nene, Kenya, and somebody else, and someone said, or maybe he won't take her home if they get married. He'll take her home, and Kenya said, "Well, the home in her mama name." When I tell you stuff like that sends me to the rafters
because it is the truth.
And she said, and Candy was like, "What? I mean, it's true." Because they want to be on camera, baby. When I tell you, when you can read homes and cars and what type of work you got done, this is the stuff that keeps the audience coming back because it's giddy, it's low stakes. Because if you're selling this all this lifestyle and you're giving us the underbelly of that,
yes,
it's oh my God,
and doing it in their own way. She's not like Mia, who repeated a read from Nene when she said to Jacqueline, close your legs to married men. It's like, we need you to, if you're going to read. So they're doing it in their own way. I said, Angie ate both of them up. I said, I was shocked that Meredith even posted the video of,
she does do things.
She can get a little dirt. Yeah, she can get down in there too. When I tell you, it was so good.
She does it when, like, I think last year when the premiere, like they'll do it when because they're supposed to post a certain amount of times. But yeah, you know what? This may be a prelude to the season again. Angie is the center snowflake, so that means something.
She said that's what I meant to read to you. Hold on. She literally she said that in a tweet. She said something about, and when you're center, and she put like the snowflake. I said, come on. Wait, she said, oh man.
Meredith and Lisa, like, and Whitney, like, oh, this BITCH.
Here she come, her second season, thinking oh man, where it was. Oh, she said when Meredith was saying I like her dancing, she said, Greeks are known to be great dancers. That's how I dance my way to center stage. And then she has the snowflake. And then she said, I'll be adding this to my scroll.
Come on, Angie. Come on.
I said, that was good. I danced. You trying to make fun, like you talking about my dancing. I danced my way to center snowflake holder.
Sometimes thirst is good.
Yeah.
In favor.
And she's not, yeah. And she's in it. You know what else was a good moment for me? When Lisa was like, so who told you I said something? And Angie's just sipping her water. And everybody just looking around the table. Then Heather speaks up and says, I said nothing. And Angie was, but I get what Angie was saying. I don't think Angie told her that to be messy. Angie thought she would listen. She feels like she's owed an apology. These are her grievances. She wasn't saying it to be messy. And I'm like, one thing Whitney said that I agree with, like Lisa doesn't hear anybody if it doesn't concern her. So like she couldn't even grasp what Angie was trying to say.
She doesn't. That yeah.
I'm so looking forward to the rest of this season. I can't wait. I do think knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Whitney's turn to be in the hot seat. I think it might be Whitney's turn. But then again, I don't know because they all have issues. So if it was just everybody coming at Whitney, but it's also Lisa coming at Angie and Meredith and Mary are gonna fall out. So it may not be, maybe just this first episode. When Whitney said you want to see the healed me and stuck up her mouth, I said, oh, you can go. You can go.
It's so funny because when she said healed me, I thought she said heal, Hill. And I was like, wait.
That's how she said it. Her
Yeah.
healing journey.
I said heal. I said, did she grow up in the Appalachians?
That's you can tell the people. So if you watching these people and then the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they all say it the same way. And I was like, oh, that is a way of saying things. Like when they said it, because when I was watching it, it made me, they all sound that way. Okay. Yeah.
We shall see. Like I said, they work great as a collective. So
they do. Yeah.
We had a drought. We had some darkness. We had a drought with some sand. Now we're back in festive. New York is coming back.
Yes. But let me ask you this about SLC, your opinion. If the season continues to give, because they started out on such a high note, but I almost feel like the audience sometimes feels like we have to have dramatic drama for a season to be good, when it's like sometimes we don't want all that up and down. Like, just give me the regular old drama. But if they pull out a good season, if episode 1 was any indication, they pull out a good season, do you think at that point they will continue to put Monica on other shows? Because they said they tried to bring her back for this episode.
And I think, because remember in the trailer, Heather said you spoke to our sworn enemy. I said, I wonder if Whitney because remember Monica said they asked her to come back to film a scene, but the women, it didn't work out or something.
Because of the stuff, the investigations they opened.
And the only ones who came to her defense was Whitney and Meredith. So I do think maybe Whitney is feeling like, okay, I need an ally, or I'm
on a healing journey.
I need some spice to spice this up, to get the attention on me. Because at the end of the day, when they're filming, they don't not see, but they want to be that girl.
That's so true.
Like, it's a very fine line. So I'll say this: seeing Bravo promoting Monica on the House of Villains, I was happy to see, was not surprised. I don't know why people think that if a person who helped put Bravo in Time Magazine across the board, that was a pop culture moment of 2024.
Yes.
When we count down to December, that's gonna be top 5. Yes. You don't have the receipts and all that. You don't have that without Monica.
Right.
Don't have it. So when I saw that Bravo posted it, I said, Bravo not that crazy. I said, y'all not that crazy. Y'all know. Y'all know.
And for them to put her on House of Villains as the voice, but not a villain.
Yes. And that's the thing. It's like, I think, yes, she needed a pause to cool off, because it would have been impossible to film.
Yeah.
It would have been it's impossible. It's impossible. Even, yes, her and Mary are friendly, but it's like, still there's, Mary's still kind of like, yes. It would have been hard. I do think if she comes back next season, like, we'll have to see how the season plays out.
Yeah.
But I do think she could pop up next year, for sure. for sure. Because
And
she's still in the zeitgeist.
yeah. And I think that she has to understand it's an ensemble show. So you continuing to be out there like I did that. Yes, we know that you
Yeah.
revitalized it, but you coming in by yourself, the women played off of that. So it's an ensemble show. So you still got to come in like, it's not, I'm better than these women. It's like, nah, we still working together because it's an ensemble show.
And even before that scene, Monica delivered up like
Yeah,
the
yeah, that's true. With her mom, yeah. You know, her
whole,
mom missed being on TV.
we didn't know what was going to happen at the finale. She like Monica was good the entire season,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she coasted, and then it was a
that's
payoff.
true. Yeah,
Good, like
yeah,
her mom giving very actress would make it. She got a daughter, it worked. You
yeah,
need a cookie mama or cookie aunt, somebody.
yeah.
She worked. So that's the thing. I think people trying to like downplay, like, the show don't need her. Da, da, da. I mean, the show don't need anybody. The show was going to be the show, but she delivered
She
the
helped.
because everyone talking about Monica and her mama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And because of that, she kind of forced the ladies to kind of step up.
Yeah.
Again, they played off of her. So it was like, and that's why the group worked so well. And I think they wanted to take Monica out of it,
Um,
but Lisa's still trying to kind of duplicate that energy.
yeah.
I feel like she's trying to, like, you wanted to take Monica out of it. Oh, we don't need her. But what I don't want to happen is to see you performing antics. Like, I want to feel like I'm watching something real, even though we know to a level, a certain level, of course, they're playing heightened versions, but I don't want to feel like I'm watching you try to prove that you don't need Monica. That's what I don't. Just work. Just do your job. That's it.
That's a great point. But I do think I'm excited. I'm
Me
excited
too.
about this season of Housewives. When it comes to other shows like New York, I mean,
Are you
I'll watch.
excited about New York?
No,
Okay, it'll just be another show to watch.
the trailer, the trailer wasn't anything. It was it reminded me of not Potomac's,
I was getting ready to say Potomac.
coming knocking my door, very manufactured, but it was given manufactured with the whole pigeons and all that.
Yeah, like, oh,
It was too heavy on it. It was
yeah,
too heavy on it, and I don't know, something about like I don't know. It's like I still can't, and it's not just me, it's a lot of people.
yeah.
Like like what? Like I'm surprised Jenny came back, but again,
Me too.
fame.
That's I said she sat in that confessional last year, like, oh my god, and oh my god,
Yeah.
it makes me so nervous. No, I don't buy the whole. I'm just such a shy little. No, I don't buy
And
it. Fame.
I think the business owner, and granted, yes, we all have multiple different sides of us. Some of us
Yes.
you will be a shrewd person in business and be shy
Yes.
out. That of course. I think that's a show that needs to build out more.
Okay.
Because I mean, yes, they have Rebecca Minkoff and they have the other housewife as a lesbian. Cool, fine. I don't know. I'm very curious. I'm so curious, and maybe we need to, as an audience, just kind of like how we watch OC. It's very low expectations, very
Yes.
medium based, and because we're still. I mean, you still see the OG housewives, New York housewives in media.
Yes. Yes.
Imagine if and it's not about having a legacy show. Just imagine if we just shot them just doing stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Just walking around New York,
Like I give Luann props. That lady is still out here touring.
doing interviews, like,
Tilda Swinton, and she knows who. Like you cannot downplay. Oh, like New York house, like OG New York housewives.
yeah,
Those gave us cinema.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they gave it to us, and that's a testament to. It's a whole new cast. They've been off a couple seasons, but yet those women still command our attention.
yes.
They they represent the old school housewife because they are a lot of them. Luann's a day one, so she knows how this works, and it's like a OG housewife who has evolved and learned how media works.
Yes. Yes. I could. Yeah. And she's evolved with it. Yeah.
It's damn good. Like
Yeah.
like she
She,
looks
and
amazing.
she's like funny and just like, yeah.
Welcome.
I'm interested to see this season.
Mhm.
One way that I think the audience, how sometimes we need to, like you said, have low level expectations, but also it's like we're demanding these housewives be a certain way. And then when these housewives change their true personalities and become who the audience has said they want them to be, then we're saying they read the comments. They're not themselves. And that's like, for instance, I'm ready to see how Saya is going to come in. Because if that's who you were last season, be who you were last season and roll with that within your group. I can see that's what evolving is one thing, but catering to the online chatter is a totally different thing. And I don't want these women to lose their personalities in trying to cater to the audience.
'Cause
So it's, you know,
I always say this, and I'm a firm believer. People don't change, they evolve.
yes.
The core of who that person is never changes. We all evolve through experiences, who we come in contact with, whether we move,
Yeah.
how we move through life on a daily. We evolve from different experiences. Like, oh, I never thought about that. Then a part of us evolves from that. But
Yes.
core, like with me, I've always been a silly person, always been silly since I was a kid. That at my core, that's who I am. But I've evolved. That part of me is still there. I'm still silly, but I know when to turn it, on and off.
That's yes. That yep.
And that's the thing. It's like even like I'll take Preston, my friend Preston, who
Hey,
was
Preston.
Martha's Vineyard, Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. He who you like, he's the same person. He's the same person on and off. Season one, season two, the same. You just evolve from your experience. And
Right.
I heard rumblings that Psy isn't on as much, or I'm not sure, but
Okay.
yeah, it's very I'm very curious to see like Jessel and Aaron.
Me too. I want to see if the Jessel love has made her
Mhm.
different.
Because we didn't know what to expect, and she was the funniest. Like she
Yeah.
just being yourself, being
Yes.
here will take you a long way.
Because people will either warm up to you or they won't, but they'll know that it's you.
They know
And like
it's
you
you.
said,
Like
I
Mary
believe
Cosby.
it.
Like, you know how to take Mary Cosby. That's who she is, and you respect that.
And even somebody like Candace, who people hated, she never changed, even if she evolved a little bit. And at the reunion, when she wasn't eating the girls up, there were so many people that were like, wait, where's Candace? What happened? What?
She
Because she
evolved.
had toned it down. So it's like, either at the end of the day, you're never going to please anybody. So these housewives need to come in, like you said, they need to evolve, but stay who you are at the core, because that's who, and either the people are going to love you or they're not, and then you're just going to have to be okay with that. But reading the comments doesn't help. That's why I love Heather Dubrow. She's like, she'll tell, yeah, I like the finer things. Yeah, I like to wrap my clothes in paper. I don't have a problem with that because she's not pretending to
That's
be something she's not. This is who I am.
love it. Like love it. Like
I love it too. Yeah.
like it's nothing. There's no pretend. There's no hangups.
Yeah.
It's I love it. Like something. I think a lot of people watch it for her,
Yeah.
for sure.
When she sat in that confessional looking up the price of John's Ferragamo shoes and says, "Oh, that's not expensive. They're on sale."
Working.
I loved
That's
it.
working.
Okay. And then I want to ask you a last thing. Your pure, unadulterated, first guttural reaction to you already know what I'm going to say. The Real Housewives of Potomac trailer.
I didn't think anything.
It left you with no feeling.
I didn't. I looked at it. I think I sent it to you to
Yes, you
wrap.
did.
I was
You did.
like, It's very, what I say? I said it's mid. It's very
Yes.
mid.
Look, go through we got so many texts and so far back. But yeah, you were not, that's funny because of course I know how you reacted, but I wanted the audience to know, but you were very just like, here you go.
It's very mid. You know, I'm
You
gonna,
said real regular based.
yes, real regular base, real like, oh, okay, it's coming back on TV. Well, okay. I'll see what people say
Me
about
too.
it. I'm not, I,
It's going to be another Housewives show for me to watch and review and see if I'm going to stick with it. It's not, I was anticipating Salt Lake City. I was anticipating the OC. You know, I'm not necessarily anticipating RHOP, but I'm going to watch. And there are others that have said they're not watching. I also understand
yeah,
people not watching. Somebody had commented on my YouTube page, like, "Oh, y'all crack me up. I thought y'all wasn't watching." I felt like Portia. I said, "Who said that?" I never
yeah,
said I wasn't watching. I said I support the people. Like when they had the petition not to watch, my friend tagged me in it. I posted it, but I never said I wasn't going to watch. I'm going to see what it gives me, but I'm not. I can also say that I'm not excited about it. When it gets here, I'll be like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna see
yeah.
what it gives." But I'm seated for Salt Lake City and for the OC.
And I told you, I'm like, if you want to, talk about an episode of something like big happens, sure.
Yes,
But
you.
because
He is not down for the regular review.
yeah, because the back-to-back seasons of just negativity
Yeah,
turned everyone off.
yeah.
And they picked up cameras. It's like, well, wait, did Jolly, you put a band-aid on it on the issue like you did last year, and that was a freaking disaster. Um, yeah, I just don't
And
even
what?
it, and you notice the trailer had little Giselle in it. I think that was on purpose. So she made it. I would think that's like a prelude, like, oh, she's not really fully
Mhm.
integrated, or fully, active. I think they know that she's not well liked, so they wanted to pivot and focus on other things. The fact that Ashley is still there
Come
is
on.
insane. I'm like, girl, that if you don't know by now that light skin thin or biracial light skin thin with some curly hair will go a long way in life, Ashley Darby is a clear example. Like, why is she still there?
Playing in our faces. All this crying about Michael the last couple years, you getting a divorce, and now you back playing in our faces. And like,
I saw a lot
girl,
saying like, wait, she's still there. A lot of people, so many people are turned off not only from Giselle, it's from Ashley
yes,
too.
she's been another. I used to love Giselle and Robin. Ashley is another one that from season one. But people like the cute, and I'm sorry, I even heard people say they like the cute curly hair. Ah, yeah, yeah, we know what that gives, So like, I
Love it.
just, and yes, she is trying to do her job or whatever. But remember, was it last season or the season? But what season was it when it felt like she was barely there? Her and her breast milk came down to the trip to cause havoc with Wendy and then went back. But what I will say is, I can see certain cast members in the press saying, "Oh, somebody's not here, and now we're all getting along." When we know the truth is, y'all were talked to and told you
Yeah,
better get along.
but yeah, eh, eh, no one is talking about the trip. Like no one,
No,
it's gonna win. No one
no.
is. I mean, besides like the Bravo fan pages, but no one's excited about Potomac. No one's excited. They don't. I mean, this is what season 8 now.
Yep. Or season 9, isn't it? Season 9.
Like how many?
I,
Karen is the only one that has elevated the look, the looks.
yes. Yes.
Her, Nene,
Yes, I did, honey.
Karen is fab.
Yeah.
It's I will stand on the hill of Karen Huger is fab. She looks the good.
And she knows what to do. Like she knew what to do, what to
Yes.
do. She definitely, yeah.
I've always been a component of, I've been a fan, a supporter of Karen from when I first started coming on your show. Because I understood the mechanics Karen Huger on the show.
Yes. Yes.
But, she leaned into it correctly. She
Yes.
it's very tongue in cheek.
Remember when she was calling people batches? Like her in that pink and looking good in that confessional. I said, Karen is something else.
She don't take herself seriously.
Yes.
That's the thing. She's like, this is fun. And with all the chaos last season, she rose to be that matriarch of the show.
Mm-hmm.
She surpassed I almost said Nene. She surpassed Giselle.
And that's one thing that I agreed with Carlos King on when he talked about Giselle and being the HBIC, when like a real leader will rally the girls and get them together. And that's what Karen was trying to, like, that's what a real leader on a show does. Because at the end of the day, it's about the show and the ensemble, even if you don't like some components of the ensemble.
And Karen will outlast Giselle.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Has more favor across the Bravo sphere than Giselle. Because people love to laugh.
Yeah.
People love to run. Like, it's just the tongue, it's the kitschiness of Karen Huger that we all love. And it's like, if I'm gonna watch it, I'll watch it for her.
That's it. Kitschy Karen. Yes. Yes.
Right. And I think the people,
even though we know she be lying sometimes, it's still funny. It's harmless. It's not about to tear nobody's family up.
Yes. Oh, my only thing that made me cringe in that trailer, and you already know what I'm about to say.
I already know. Please say it. Please.
When they asked Wendy, who would you sleep with? And
Come
Wendy, in a pause, says Giselle.
I was
like, wait, what? I'm like, she literally was a national terror to you on TV the moment you stepped on the show, your own soar, and you would say, like, I understand working for your coin. I understand that y'all had to talk, but why? It's like, again, you're feeding you're reaffirming her that no matter how awful she treats you, she will always be desired by you.
Yes. Because I was, like you said, we understand. Because when people say, if I was Candace or Wendy, I wouldn't talk to Giselle. No, we're an ensemble. So I don't have to kiss you behind, but I know that we have to have interactions. Giselle wouldn't have interactions with you. And then wanted Karen, tried to get Karen on her side to not talk to you. Yes, you and her patch it up, but now you will sleep with her. I would have said Ashley first.
And before in the comments, so like, wait, what?
Like, even if y'all make up to the point, like you made up to the, I would honestly, if I was Wendy, I would have said Mia, considering, you know what I mean? Like,
but even when Wendy was flirting with Mia, it's like, girl, what? It's like, but she just threw a drink at you,
and now y'all showing Kitty stuff.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, people always try to, when we make these points, people say, oh, it's just a show. But I'm like, no, yes, it's a show, but Giselle is using real life situations.
And that
affects people's real life.
And say it.
This isn't like, you don't talk about people's merit like that to me and blatantly lie.
Yes.
On national TV, it's getting, where's Eric? Go get Eric. We're not doing this. We're not
doing this.
Like, no. It's like, this is real life stuff. This is real life.
Around your desirability. Like, you're lying around your desire because you believe that every man in the room is going to.
And to a certain point, she was weaponizing her desirability.
Yep. Because, like, come on.
Yeah.
And then even with Wendy and Eddie, like, instead of you acting as if a concerned friend, look, I'm concerned, Wendy, because I feel like you're different. I'm concerned you're different because you got your body done. And I think that you got your body done because of these rumors about your husband cheating on you. Like, you made sure to bring that up and brought it up twice. One, they showed in the trailer that season one, they didn't. So it's like you said, Giselle is, yes, we're watching a show, but it ain't stuff that's affecting people's marriages and stuff. Why is that the theme of Potomac? And particularly with Giselle.
She has nothing else going on.
Yeah.
She has nothing going on. Hence why there's a little excitement about the show.
Yeah. I said, I'm going to watch. And I would have rather, at first I was like, did I want to see Giselle stay without Robin? But I would really have rathered Robin stayed without Giselle, because I could have seen Robin and Wendy getting back to a place, because they both admitted they were friends. And at one point, so to see them work, I would, if one of them had to go, I would have rather saw that dynamic. How is Robin going to be without being Giselle's Batman?
And
I mean,
another
without being Giselle's Robin.
another thing. Shout out to Rodney the Voice. Mia and this, what's his name?
Come on, Ink.
What in the love and hip hop? I promise you, I'm not watching that. Yeah.
Why are they on Housewives?
What's your name?
Right.
Nickname you halfway to 40. I'm like,
Yeah, Ink.
what?
And we're
Like
watching.
sagging. I'm like, oh no, I'm like real regular base. I can see
Yeah.
it. I don't need to be on TV.
You were on The Real Housewives of Potomac
Looking crazy.
talking about to another man about this may be your child. I mean, but this is the same Mia who put them on a dinghy boat with some wrapped ham and cheese sandwiches.
I'm like, girl, I don't want to see.
Sitting center stage in that green photo in a different color green dress with this blonde wig.
I'm like, what?
You were on the wrong show. Like, I feel like Potomac, from where they used to be to now, it's like,
Regular,
yeah.
regular.
And I hope Karen eats Mia up this season. Because Karen will.
Yeah. I get Mia, and I've always said I get her utility on the show, but this, like, oh, we're going full force into this. Who's the baby? Who's
Come
my
on, like,
and like one guy's name is Ink, and he looking like it just too love and hip hop based, and I don't even watch that show. So I promise you, I'm not watching Mia's storyline. I
fast
promise.
forward. I'm like I used to do Ashley for years. I would fast forward Ashley scenes unless she was in group scenes. I don't want to see, or if I like had to know about something that happened then, but I was fast forwarding the scenes because I'm just like, I just can't even believe I'm still looking at you.
And I do think their ratings, the premiere episode, will show that people are like, yeah, I'm
Mhm.
good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm good on you. It's like watching it. It felt like it was just missing an ingredient. Like something is like an ingredient is missing. Like, ooh, like something is just missing.
It was light. Y'all wanted light. I said, well, you can do light and do a great trailer. Like that doesn't like OC had a great trailer.
Yes, yes,
Fantastic trailer, and that's light and fluff.
yeah.
So you can't, people are trying to move. I'm like, no, honey, I watch all the shows. I just don't watch Potomac, honey. So when I speak, I usually know what the hell I'm talking about. So I'm not
And
what?
OC knows how to do it because they technically, Shannon's storyline could be considered very dark, but they know how to, we're still getting light and funny.
Yeah. Oh, now I was talking to Rodney about this because, as you know, with the new season of Potomac, and Karen has her DUI,
Yes.
and
Oh,
he was reading the comments how people were, basically comparing, not comparing. We were comparing how people's response to Shannon and response to Karen. So we shall see. We shall see. So I'll be curious to see how that affects because Shannon will always be the victim. Like,
she's always
she's
gonna cry. She's
in her, her white woman victimhood.
mhm.
It is. We're watching OC, and I'm not expecting a crash course on, just a lot of things.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
we were watching, and Shannon's very bubble, very sheltered. I've had somebody take me my whole life. I need a man to make me feel like something.
Mm-hmm.
Always a victim. She's like, life always happens to her.
And it really does. Yes.
I get it. So yeah, we shall see how,
I
Karen.
don't think Karen gonna be doing a whole bunch of crying, which then will translate to some as, oh, she doesn't care. No, it translates to we are not afforded the same luxuries as
I think,
some of the other women to be crying and carried on.
oh yeah, I think it'll be a good one or two episodes of Karen showing remorse. Like, I think it'll be that for sure. But
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be because Karen's not. I mean, let's just be real. you know, Black women aren't set up
That's what I'm
to.
saying. Be crying and carrying on it. Like you got to keep it moving. And people perceive that as one
Yeah,
thing when it's like, no, we're not afforded the same as
yeah.
there's
Because
a
think
lot
about
of things these Black housewives aren't afforded the same as these white housewives.
I mean, speaking of Potomac, because some people get emotional, whether they're sad or they're angry, emotional. Shannon's been crying all season. We've accepted that. There's no she's crying too much. Every comes in, she's crying, she's crying, she's crying. Candace
Come on.
was had the same reaction whereas she's very transparent with her emotions, which is great and fantastic because a lot of people suppress their emotions.
Yes.
It was always an issue with her crying, but Shannon has cried since the start of the season, and she will cry until the reunion, and not a peep.
Not a peep. And it's interesting because I would see people say, well, Candace is running her mouth, her reactions. Ding, ding, ding. That's the word of the day, the reaction. So then she gets upset with herself. She's crying. But like you said, Shannon, you know who else cries a lot? Kyle Richards.
No one's a thing. No one.
Not a word. So it's like we are not afforded the same
Right.
luxuries, even sometimes from Black viewers. But I think it's because we were raised like we don't do that. I remember Ebony had said, like when she was on New York, and I think she was crying, like it had really got to her. And basically she could hear it from like, don't be crying in front of these white folks. Like we can't give that, like we're not allowed to do that. So yeah, we're not afforded the same luxury to literally run the car into the side of the house. And I get that a lot is coming her way with Alexis. At the same time, I do think if it was a different housewife, if it was an Atlanta or a Potomac, people would be tired of the crying already, even if it was the same situation.
It, again, Alexis and John are coming after Shannon. They were coming after Candace. It's like, but she can't
Mm.
cry. She can't
And
cry.
her husband, right?
She can't cry.
You are.
Like,
You're right.
like,
You're right.
so yeah, and then me is I don't I only put weight into people's opinions on Housewives if they watch them all.
From the beginning.
Watching Potomac, I know you already skewed to a certain type of based reality show. So I was like, you came in season 5, Fight Night. Shout out to Rodney.
Shout out to Rodney.
So I was like, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it's always very interesting, and that's why I enjoy our discussions because we watch pretty much all of them, so our
From the
opinion
beginning.
can compare, you know,
Yes.
how just social how we as viewers are socialized and how the women are socialized. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm also curious to see Beverly Hills.
Why are you in my head? I was getting ready to say, and I think we have Beverly Hills coming up this year as well.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm
Because
curious.
we haven't heard too much.
Not too much, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
good.
We don't know the whole season, Atlanta.
But I really think that I hope they got a good season
Me
because
too.
City about to be the crown jewel. If this premiere was anything and it stays on this trajectory,
Yeah.
they're the crown jewel, and that would look crazy. But again, I don't so much of Beverly Hills sits on the shoulders of Kyle.
Yeah.
Very frustrated when Kyle was like mum's the word with her marriage. I mean, the cat's out the bag now, and she wanted to play Coy Collins with the singer.
Oregon. Yep.
Yeah, so Morgan. So it's like, I'm curious. I think Kathy and Jennifer Tilly being back will definitely give us some moments, some humor. If all else fails, Beverly Hills gonna give us some glamour, gonna give us some coin.
I was
So
getting ready and some background. That's what I always think the same thing. If nothing else, I'll watch to see what they're wearing, what they're doing, or the background. Yep. There's always still a plus for me out of Beverly Hills.
it's expensive to be made.
Eh, 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 eh.
Wait. No shade. EJ has over that one. No shade. She ate a
Yeah,
little,
she
but
did. She did. I'm ready to see Beverly Hills.
yeah,
And
I
then I
am
guess we'll get Atlanta in 2025.
they can keep it.
Wait, say that again.
They can keep it. I promise you they can keep it. I promise you they can keep it. I promise you. I promise.
Well, people are hoping that since Lanithia is back under NBC Universal, soft
She's the
launch.
only. I made a tweet. I made a tweet on Sunday night or Monday. Love seeing Olethea on there. I saw clips from the after show. Nene is a star.
Yes, period.
A star. She's one of the blueprints
Cannot be
of
denied.
got her work done, hair
Yes.
is body's bodying, the pieces are piecing. I do think that she is she's her saving grace. She's the only person who can resurrect Atlanta. I do think they will show I think Kenya will be included in the
Okay.
season up until that point. They need trust me, if they have a trailer and there's no Kenya, there are no people not watching. Well, a fraction of people not
Yeah.
watching. A fraction will be including me because I'm like, wait, because Portia and then Phaedra, oh, I promise you I'm not watching her. I cannot
And with Phaedra coming in at the end. So it's like,
I do not honey. When I
I
tell
wish let them bring Nene Kenya because it would be like I could see the trailer now, like controversy, that like the voiceover and them all walking in and meeting. So it's like they all would like you don't have nothing on me because you was fired too and you was fired too. You know what I mean? Or so it would be like
you airs and flatlines, you want to talk about to that image, that image you just evoked with Kenya and Nene, the Titans, those are marquee names.
yes,
Portia and Phaedra are very B.
yeah, coming
Yeah.
in from the side, like I could just see it.
And a Nene, honey, soon deadline reporting, variety report, baby.
People are
When
gonna
I
come watch just for that.
the people will be there, have cameras, honey. The people like, honey, Atlanta would boom,
Yeah, it would.
would boom.
And I know that they say no one person makes a franchise, but when you have that key player that knows how to that person can have issues with some of the cast but still know how to bring things together. I was watching the clip of the Savannah episode. I was at, I think, season 6, and they all get to the house and it's Portia, Kenya, Sher wait, I don't know. It might not have been Sheree. Portia, Kenya, maybe Sheree, Phaedra, Cynthia, and Nene is walking around like the mother and she's doing something in the kitchen. And she's like, okay, me and Kenya are going to have wine and then we're going to cuss you all out. Like that, like she knows how to bring. And then even that scene, that season when they had the girl that was saying, what was her name that was saying that Candy was a come up for Todd. So they were at the lunch and they were like, Candy dated somebody, Phaedra dated him. And then Nene is like, to break the tension, and Cynthia, Kenya, and you dated him, like, and she knew how to like break the
Yes.
tension. And then I was watching the scene of Fight Night, the afterwards when they went to that spa, and Phaedra was like, "Ooh, this tea bag," and like it was just so. And Kenya kind of knew, and Nene knew how. Those ladies, there was a point where they did have respect for Nene, and I think kind of looked to Nene as the. So
Yeah,
I would love to see that again.
that would be the ruler of the planet.
Yeah.
Like, it would be you talking about a pop culture moment
And at
when
that point, the commercials need to come back. Remember those commercials that they used to do with the housewives? They need to have Nene and Kenya
baby,
do a Coke commercial or Pepsi commercial with their gladiator outfits, something.
you know that meme of Nene dancing her little like
Yes.
onesie, baby. When I if that no shade, she back under ABC Universal. If they really want to invest in Atlanta moving forward, like okay, after this season is a big disappointment.
Yeah.
We need to close it out, and we gotta close it out big. and they have the girl like Nene and Kenya.
Yeah. Because to me, for people are like, oh, cancel Atlanta. Atlanta ruled for how many years? Like people don't give Atlanta the credit that it deserves. It was years
Yeah.
upon years upon years. So let's not do that because there were years when Beverly Hills had their years and OC had their years. Like all of them have come through this
Yeah.
transition. So they need, like you said, to really invest in Atlanta and think of the good of the audience, not the good of their ego.
Yeah, and I do think we shall see, but
Yeah.
that would be such a juggernaut moment
Yeah.
in talk of like Nene back on what, huh? Like it'll be everything.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're manifesting.
yes, I can see it happening. I can see because I'm quite sure Kenyon will return, but it has to be somebody to work with, somebody to
You
play
need
like
somebody to play with. Yeah.
those two.
And then because Nene and Portia had their thing, they were big sis, little six. They recently got into a fight, and then Portia and Kenya were kind of getting along, but I don't know. I wonder if they talk now that Portia hasn't been on the show. So it would be a lot to.
Yeah, I tell you, I still think the
I want our
funniest
seasoned girls back. The seasoned girls.
funniest Nene versus Kenya when at the reunion, and she was like, hold up. I wasn't flirting with Peter. Yes, everybody know you were flirting with Peter.
Yeah.
And she's like, you didn't disrespect me and my husband. I know that. I just did.
I
I
just
just
did. Is that the
did. Even if she did, I still won. He
yeah,
said,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
received a prize. He does have a prize, bitch.
Why do you sound exactly like Greg? Even if you honk the horn on him, Greg.
When I tell you that,
Don't
because
make me call Portia.
I know he was like, this bitch is good. Because
Mm-hmm.
he was like,
Just coming with him.
she's the only one who can go up against toe to toe with Nene
Yeah.
and not flustered and everything.
And Kenya came on wanting to be friends with Nene. When you watch those seasons back, she loved Nene. And then what about the talls versus the smalls? Like we had it so good.
King leaned in after Nene said,
Oh,
my husband,
I
she said,
just did.
I just did. I said, work. I said, work.
Like,
I said, work. You
and
can't
everybody, it was like a tennis match.
never respect that. You gotta
Yeah. Everybody was going back and forth. It was definitely a tennis match.
okay.
Bravo, if you're listening, it is what we need. It is what we want. It is what
Yeah.
we desire of you.
Close out Atlanta proper.
Yes.
Close it
Yeah.
with
Yeah. That would be so good. You could just see, oh man. Oh, I get chills just thinking about it. Hopefully it doesn't just stay in my thoughts and thoughts and prayers. Speaking of thoughts and prayers, there's no smooth transition. Carlos, I had an amazing time, of course.
almost 2 hours, but it was a great 2 hours.
And you said, because we had said like an hour and some change, you were like, all right, I'm just go ahead and block out.
I know gap and transition on to everything, but I'm just excited. SLC ushered us in right for the fall winter.
Yes.
I'm just ready to laugh and just pick apart the stories and just
Yes.
be back in housewife land.
And have some good old funny, some of the commentary on SLC was so funny yesterday. I was like, yes, I'm loving the cleanse of it all. Yeah, I loved it. Well, let everybody know what you're up to, where they can find you if you wish for them to find you.
Of course. Well, as you know, I'm a writer.
Yes.
I just my web series Triangle Nightshade just premiered on brtbtv.com. So we're gearing up for another full season of Triangle, the main show.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Triangle Nightshade is like a little pocket of good story, good juicy storyline leading up to the main attraction. So
Okay.
I have that going, which I can't believe I've been doing this for like 10 years now. And I have a cover story coming out. It should be out by the end of you dropping this on Friday. It should be
Yeah.
out on Friday. A cover story with the actor Thomas Mackey from The Shy. I did a cover
Yes.
story with Swerve Magazine, and Thomas Mackey was one of the original actors on Triangle. So he was original cast back when we launched in 2014. So now he's on The Shy.
Wow.
The moment when we talked and interviewed and stuff. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is. And so will you have a link already? Well, I was going to say if you don't have a link already for me to put the
Yeah.
description, but they could come to your Instagram or your,
Yes.
okay.
And on Twitter, I am Carlos J. Harris. And on IG, it's Carlos J.
Carlos
Harris.
Wright,
Yeah, no,
right?
it's Carlos J. Harris _ writes
Yes.
writer. So yeah, so I have a link with all my work and stuff. So you can find me there. So I'm excited. That's a good thing too. I'm back on here. Got a new episode coming out. Got a cover story coming out. I love it. This is like
I
one of
am.
the best content is content.
Yes, when it's contenting. Yes, it is definitely. Well, y'all already know Carlos will be back. I mean, I don't even have to say when. I told Carlos he's one of the few that has an open. He could send me a text and be like, "I need to come on and talk about this." All right, because that's just how it is. Carlos, let me tell you, he knows I'll be out in these streets making this money. He'll be like, "Oh, did you see this? Check this out." I'll be like, "Thank you so much." Like, Carlos keeps me up to date. Let me tell you, Carlos keeps me up to date. I'll be like, "Oh my God," like, or I'll be like, if I'm like in the middle of waiting for a ride, I'll pull over, literally read our text because he'll get like 19 from me at one time. Then I'll go dark for a minute. Then I'll come, but he knows I'm a come back around. But so Carlos keeps me in the know.
Yes.
So, all right, y'all, listen, let us know if y'all are watching Salt Lake City. If you enjoyed the premiere episode, do you have faith for the rest of the season? Let us know if you're going to be watching Potomac. And if you're watching just because, as we do sometimes, it's a Bravo show, so we're going to watch. Are you looking forward to it? Let us know if you're looking forward to The Real Housewives of New York and if you're looking forward to Beverly Hills. Y'all, we love y'all so much. Thank you for kicking it with us. Please, y'all, subscribe to, if you're listening to the podcast via audio, please come on over and subscribe on the YouTube WeGo, WEIGO podcast. I talk about all the things, not just housewives, everything going on in the world of pop culture and internet culture. And if you're watching, hi, on YouTube, please go over to your audio and also subscribe. Help me get some more traction over there as well. Listen, y'all, thank y'all again for watching us. We will talk to y'all soon. See ya.